Welcome back to Upper Michigan. Today we're discussing the legacy of Anita Myland and her lasting impacts on art, culture, and more in the Marquette area. The Lake Superior Art Association and Jack Dio and Hilton Fisher are presenting an event March 5th all about Anita Myland to celebrate her impacts. The Lake Superior Art Association even gives out a scholarship yearly in memory of Anita Myland. So if you're living in the Marquette area, if you've ever been to an art event in the Marquette area, you can thank Anita. So that's why it's kind of important to highlight the work that she's done to make Marquette such a vibrant scene. So we can continue talking where we left off about her legacy.
Yeah, just other events she was involved in. I think what's coming up next is her involvement with the UP State Fair Queen Contest. And I think she ran that for a number of years.
Oh, yes. And she ran every other contest. So there was a winter carnival that always had a queen contest. And she was, again, sort of dismissive sometimes of things were not done quite right. She said something like, the first year, any girl who could make a snowball could be entered for the queen, you know? And she wanted it to be more than that. She wanted them to have some winter sports ability. And so there's a strawberry festival up in Chassell. There's going to be a queen for that. She's going to be in charge of it. You know, just all these little queen productions all over the place.
Yeah, this was part of the queen. I think they maybe were flying somewhere, and it's one of the queens standing there with her thing. That's at Mackinac Island. She's in one of the Mackinac speedboats that went out to the island. That's Anita in the rear of the boat there. So she was very active, and that's her at Mackinac Island in one of the horse carriages. But it was a big deal, and you'll see how many girls were involved in these shows and how they dressed, and kind of fun. And when I ended up with their photos, I ended up with probably 100 shots like this, stacks of these queen contests. So it was the first time I got to show them or use them. I'm glad this kind of happened. I dug them out.
Yeah, and I think this was part of her, you know, she loved to teach and teach anything, and she would teach anything. And I think sort of this was her chance to get to the young women, the future women of the UP, and make sure they were sort of cultured and were willing to be ambassadors, were willing to sort of speak out and represent their community.
And that they weren't just sitting there with a crown on their head looking pretty. That she was making sure these women were well-rounded too, and were showing their skills and showing that they had just as many skills as men.
Yes, she would have wanted them all to be in your position. You know, you would have been ideal. She would have loved mentoring both of you. And she would have said, look at these beautiful women, and they're going to make something of themselves, and they're going to contribute to the UP. And she would have been thrilled.
So not just contributing to the arts and culture scene, but just to the empowerment of women too. We love to see that here.
I watched Barbie yesterday.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
I found some pictures of her in snowshoes and with skis. She did a lot with winter carnivals, too.
She did a lot with winter carnivals, right.
That are still going on today. You know, we still have snow sculptures, and that goes way back to in the 40s when she was running all that.
Was it uncommon for women to be more involved in winter recreation back then? Or was it still pretty
There were
standard?
always, I think women here grew up ice skating and skiing, but you know, the schools did have teams and things, but she wanted to really celebrate them and say you can be a skier and you can wear a tiara. You know?
Yes.
You can ski with your tiara.
Exactly.
Just keep the chin up and it won't fall.
Exactly. Keep your posture up, right?
Wonderful. Well, she certainly had lasting impacts on the Marquette area, not just in our arts and culture. We're going to continue this conversation, talk about some events that are still going on today. And of course, before the show is over, we will tell you everything that you can expect at the event happening March 5th. There's some incentives. You'll probably want to head to that event. We'll talk more about it when we come back.